اوكي طيب خليني اشوف مين موجود اليوم. اوكي good morning everybody again. I'm so sorry for this، بس عشانه طلبوا مني رقم مهم واعطيتهم الرقم. اوكي طيب في غيابات طبعا. topic 8 energy and food. We will start with lesson 1 energy in food. اوكي okay plants and energy. In this page you have to know that all living things, all living beings, all organisms need energy from food. Plants are different from other organisms that they get food by making it. So, yes, they do not need, plants do not need to eat other plants or to eat other animals. They can make their own food to get energy by a process called photosynthesis. Okay? Right. Plants use materials from the environment. They use sunlight, carbon dioxide from the air or the atmosphere, and water from the soil, and change them to sugar. This sugar is called the glucose. And in this process, photosynthesis, they release or they also give off oxygen. This process, photosynthesis, takes place or occurs in the leaves of the plants. Okay, طيب. The sugar that the plant not all sugars a plant produce are used for as food. You have to know this important point. The sugar that plants make during photosynthesis, not all of this sugar is used as food. Plants use some sugars along with materials that the plant gets from the soil to make plant parts, for growth, for reproduce, perform activities. So it uses energy for many things, for growth, reproduction, perform other activities, not only for food. Okay, animals are different from plants because animals cannot make their own food. They cannot make photosynthesis. So they get energy in two ways. Plant animals get energy in two ways, either by eating animals or by eating other animals, or some animals also eat both plants and animals. So animals cannot make their own food, so they must eat to get energy. Okay? Now, different kinds of animals eat different kinds of food. The first type of animals...
Herbivore and carnivore.
Yes.
Omnivore.
Okay. This insect or the grasshopper, it's called the grasshopper. As you see, it eats the leaves of the plants. This is called a herbivore or herbivore. Herbivore eats only plants. Examples, there are a lot of examples of animals that eat only plants, like cows, sheep, goats, deer, zebra, elephants, gorilla, and so on. Okay, so these animals only gets energy by eating plants. Another type of animals, like this tiger, as you see, are called carnivore. Carnivore animal is an animal that eats only animals or the products animals make. So many animals are carnivores, as you see, like tigers, wolves, snakes, sharks. All of these are called carnivores. They only eat animals or products animals make, such as eggs. And some animals eat the eggs of other animals. طيب. They in general يعني carnivores have sharp teeth because they need to catch and eat the prey. Omnivore بديش اطول عليهم تعرفوهم كويس. Omnivore like humans, we eat plants and animals. Okay, this animal, the omnivore is an animal that eats both plants and animals. It can eat plants and it can eat animals at the same time. Bears.
Teacher, can I say something?
تفضل حسن.
The omnivore, it's not an human, it's an animal.
طلع لا شوف حسن الآن when we classify the living things, of course أول شيء الهيومنز من ناحية خلينا نحكي أكيد الإنسان مش زي الحيوان. Animals, humans are not animals, but from scientific point of view, I am talking about science. In science, when scientists classified the organisms, they put humans in the animal kingdom. يعني when, for example, the classification of organisms, there is a plant kingdom, okay, and animal kingdom. Then we have Protista, for example.
Yes.
We have a kingdom called bacteria. There is no, in this classification, there is no human kingdom. So it is considered in the animal kingdom. But of course, يعني because, do you know why? Why do humans or why do scientists put humans in the animal kingdom? Because there are many similarities, or the structure of your body, the structure of the human body is very close to the humans, like especially mammals. Okay, for example, the digestive system of the human is very close to the other animals, to the mammals, like elephants, tigers, goats, yes, sheep. For example, they have lungs like us, they have liver like us, they have, there is some differences in the digestive system, but in general, humans belong to the animal kingdom from scientific point of view. نعم حسن؟
I understand it.
عيد ما سمعتك.
I understand it.
اوكي جيت. اما من ناحيه طبعا من الناحيه الدينيه احنا الانسان ولقد كرمنا بني ادم وحملناه في البر والبحر. الانسان اكيد طبعا مش زي هو مش حيوان. الانسان عنده العقل، عنده يميز بين الخير والشر، فرب العالمين كرم الانسان. لكن هم من ناحيه علميه بحكي لك هو belongs to the animal kingdom. For this reason I say that humans are omnivores.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. What is a trophic level? Trophic level sort animals and plants according to where they are in the food chain. As you know that in the food chain, it's a diagram that shows which animal or which organism eats the other, or in the food chain represents the transfer of energy from one organism to another. Trophic levels, as you see, this is a pyramid that shows the transfer of energy. At the beginning of the, or yes, at the base of the pyramid, there are producers. Also, always producers in the bottom of the pyramid. As you see, energy from the sun, they get energy from the sun and make their own food. Producers include plants, algae, and some types, not all bacteria, some types of bacteria are considered producers. But in general, the main or the most important producers on Earth are plants, especially in the land. In water or in the ocean, there are phytoplanktons, microorganisms or microscopic organisms called phytoplanktons. They are producers because they take energy from the sun to make their own food. At the beginning of the energy pyramid, this is called energy pyramid. As you see, there are producers, which means they make their own food through photosynthesis. Plants or producers are able to use only 11% of the solar energy they receive during food production. So they only able to use only 11% of the total energy that they take from the sun. Now, the second trophic level, this is the first trophic level. This is the second trophic level. Animals in the second trophic level are called primary consumers. They are consumers because they can't make their own food, but they are called primary consumers. They feed on the producers. And the same thing, they only get or use 10% or 11% of the energy that they get from the producers. So primary consumers eat plants. So in this trophic level, you can find another animals like goats, sheep, elephants, deer, and so on. They convert and store about 10% of the energy they obtain from plants. So the other 90% is used for life processes or released as heat. In the third trophic level, there are snakes. Sorry, يعني they are called. مش تفكروا انه لازم، مش تفكروا بليز انه لازم يكون هون دائما snakes. لا، ممكن يكون eagle. انا يعني whatever، يعني هون ممكن يكون whatever. But this is called secondary consumer. The secondary consumers feed on the primary consumers. They eat primary consumers, as you see. The snake, for example, hunt or eat these rats. Eat primary consumers. They convert and store about 10% of the energy from animals they eat. Because the 90% of the energy transformed as heat. أيوة تفضلي يا سلمى.
هسه أستاذ, can you this part repeated?
عيدي كمان، ما فهمت عليك. إيش بدك سلمى؟
In the last part in number 3, can you repeat it?
This one? Do you mean this?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the third trophic level. This is called the first trophic level. As you see here, look, trophic level. And this is called energy pyramid. It shows how energy, this pyramid that you see shows how energy moves from one organism to another in the food chain. This pyramid is made up of trophic levels. This is the first trophic level. In the first trophic level, always we have producers. In the second trophic level, we have organisms that feed on the producers. They are called, in this case, primary consumers. Always primary consumers eat plants. So you can find in this trophic level mice. The plural of mouse is mice, as you know. Rats, sheep, goats, cows, whatever. All of them are herbivores. This is the third trophic level. Animals in the third trophic level are called secondary consumers. Secondary consumers eat animals, okay? They eat the primary consumers. Again, animals in the third trophic level feed on the primary consumers. You can find another animals here, yani not only snakes. And always, as you see, whenever you go from one trophic level to the second, only 10% of the energy is used, while the other 90% of the energy transformed or used for other activities. Yani, look, to understand this, when this snake eats, when the snakes eat rats, they only get 10% of the total energy that is stored in the rat. Why? Because the rat already used energy in its body for other activities. So they just get 10% of the energy. Now at the top, always at the top of this pyramid, or the last trophic level, there are animals that are seldom. If you watch the video, if you remember the video, that animals لا انا بخربط على فكره، ورجيت فيديو للصف الثامن. على كل حال anyway, in this level, animals in this level are seldom eaten by other animals. Okay, يعني animals in this level that they are called tertiary consumers, they are seldom eaten by other animals. Sometimes they are called top predators. They are called top predators like this. Okay, so you can find in this level, the last trophic level, they are called tertiary consumers because they feed on secondary consumers. So if you want, يعني in the food chain always, okay, you have like this, producers. These producers are eaten by primary consumers, okay? The primary consumers are always herbivores, then secondary consumers, then tertiary consumers. Also, you can find the food chain more and more levels. At the end of the food chain, we have, and at the end of the trophic level, we have always animals that are seldom eaten by other animals. You can find lions here, for example. Okay, the tertiary consumers conferred at the same thing. They just use 10% of the energy from the secondary consumer animals they eat. The other 10%, 90% is used or transformed. So this eagle, for example, hunt the snake. Okay, طيب, is it clear, شباب? Do you have any comment? Do you have any questions? This is another trophic levels or food chains in the water. Okay, طيب, مين اللي كان بده يحكي؟ في حدا عنده سؤال؟ طيب ماشي، خليني أكمل. هون this page ما في داعي، فيش, there is nothing important in this page. خلينا نروح to listen to animals, how plants make food. Of course, the answer by photosynthesis. يعني this lesson is talking about photosynthesis in more details. What is photosynthesis? It is a process by which plants change non-living things or non-living materials to sugar or food. Okay, what do plants need in photosynthesis? They need carbon dioxide. They get it from air. and water, they get it from soil, and energy from the sun, and the sun is always available. Plants use water and carbon dioxide from the air to make sugar. Now they convert water, carbon dioxide, and energy from the sun into sugar. This sugar called glucose. And in this process, always plants release oxygen, which goes to the atmosphere. For this reason, plants are very important for in the environment because they give us oxygen. And also they take carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. So more plants means that the levels of carbon dioxide or the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will be less, which is good. And more plants mean more oxygen in the air. Okay, so this is called photosynthesis. But this word, as you know, photo means light. Photo means light. Okay, synthesis means to make. Okay, plants use glucose as food. They use the glucose that they make or the sugar that they make as food, or store it in their tissues, in their roots, in their body, as they store glucose in a long chain or more complex form called starch. Okay, so starch اللي احنا بنقول عنه النشا is made up of glucose or long chain of glucose. طيب. Now plants have structures or parts that help it or help them. Plants have structures that help them to perform photosynthesis. Without these structures, they can't make photosynthesis. In the plants, there are inside the leaves, as you know, photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of the plants, and leaves have a structure like chloroplast, and also they have, yes, chloroplast. Look at this structure, chloroplasts. The chloroplasts are found where? Inside the leaves. Chloroplasts contain a pigment called the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is responsible for absorbing sunlight, and the chlorophyll is responsible for giving the plants their color. Why plants appear green? Because of the presence of this pigment, chlorophyll. Okay, so chlorophyll is very important. So without chlorophyll, plants can't make the photosynthesis. So again, several structures help plants obtain or get the matter and energy they need for photosynthesis. Water travels from the ground into plants through roots and then up to the leaves through tubes in the stem. There are, by the way, if you remember, when we classify plants, we say that plants can be divided into vascular plants and non-vascular plants. Vascular plants have structures or tubes that carry these tubes. I like the straw. Yani when you drink juice by the straw, plants have straw, like tubes like the straw that absorb water or take water from the roots to the stem and to the leaves. Okay, these plants or most of the plants have these tubes, and these tubes are called the vascular system. So plants take water from the roots through these tubes. Okay, so the water travels or go to the leaves. Okay, carbon dioxide is taken from the air by stomata. Plants have openings. Carbon dioxide in the air enters plants through stomata. These, what are stomata? They are openings or small openings on the surface of the plant. You can't see them by your eyes. They are very small. Okay, plants trap sunlight energy in the structures called the chloroplasts. So chloroplasts absorb sunlight. Air carbon dioxide enter to the plant through stomata, and water from the soil. Water from the soil go to the leaves through the tubes. Now, plants gain mass when plants change these materials. They change water and carbon dioxide and energy from the sun into what? Into sugar. Okay, this sugar then used for food and also for growth and so on. For this reason, plants gain mass. Photosynthesis and temperature. Of course, if the water is frozen, so plants, as you know, needs water for photosynthesis. In cold areas, if the water is frozen, it is difficult for the plant to make photosynthesis. And also in hot areas, as you know, the water evaporates. When plants open their stomata to take carbon dioxide or water or release oxygen, water can exit plants and travel into the air. This is a process called transpiration, as you know. The plants lose water like you lose water from your skin. Plants also lose water as water vapor in a process called transpiration. Okay, transpiration happens more when it is hot. So to reduce transpiration, many desert plants open their stomata only at night. By the way, this is a behavioral adaptation. Especially plants that live in the desert, they open their stomata only at night. They store carbon dioxide until daytime when photosynthesis can occur. Okay, fine. Also, plants need nutrients. Plants not only need water, carbon dioxide, they need water and carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, but plants need other nutrients for other activities. For example, plants need nitrogen, phosphorus to build the proteins. These are called the nutrients. So nitrogen is a nutrient, phosphorus is a nutrient, potassium is a nutrient. Plants need these nutrients for other activities. Again, they need nitrogen, phosphorus to build the proteins. They need potassium and iron for a variety of processes. For example, plants use potassium as they open and close stomata, and so on. Like you, plants like you need the nutrients. You need the nutrients for you to build your bones, your skin, your teeth, and so on. And you get these nutrients from food. Plants in general plants get these nutrients from the soil. طيب, that's enough today. خلصت الحصة. احنا خلصنا تقريبا 2 lessons. هو هذا الشابتر كم lesson؟ شباب؟ هلو؟
maybe
3. اتوقع انه 3. على كل حال ان شاء الله ممكن يوم من الايام. بكره ما في، بكره عطله صح؟
yeah.
على كل حال اذا حابين نعمل كمان ريفيجن احكوا لي. معنا تيوزداي، معنا وينزداي، معنا ثيرزداي، فرايداي وسانداي، ساترداي عشان نمتحن يوم. على كل حال ممكن نعمل كمان ريفيجن. ببعث لكم على الجروب، اللي بيحب يحضرها طبعا بحب، اللي ما بحب اتس اب تو يو. انا عملنا ريفيجن ل2 ليسونز. كويس، ماشي، اوكي. جود باي شباب، عشان عندي ميتينج. السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام عليكم مس نينا، يعطيك العافية. You can leave the meeting please. Okay.